What's up, YouTube? This is Big Mike. I hope everyone had a great Christmas yesterday. Okay, I watched the marquee game yesterday between the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers, and all right, I felt that Cleveland lost that game more than Golden State won it. All right, they did win. They improved to what's the record? 28-1. All right, on pace to smash the NBA record for most wins of the season. Um, but LeBron James, man, granted he's on the downside of his career, but once again, this reinforces my belief, man, that okay, on a game per game basis, yes, LeBron James belongs in conversation with the all-time greats as far as his production is concerned, his overall production and his resume. But this guy does not have the same mentality as a lot of the all-time greats. All right, like I read about George Mikan. He had an alpha male personality when he played. We know the older version of George Mikan when he probably had mellowed a lot. But I read that George Mikan could be a nasty guy out there. He played in the era where guys could really get mauled out there. All right. We all know about Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain. Even though he has this reputation for being an underachiever when it comes to winning, he was probably closer to Michael Jordan in personality than Bill Russell was. He was very competitive, uber competitive. I remember reading about how he was a very strong person, even when he was younger, before he started lifting weights. But the only person that was able to beat him in arm wrestling was Jim Brown, who was incredibly strong himself. And that motivated Wilt Chamberlain to start lifting weights, get into weightlifting. And then he got to the point where a guy who could once bench press 350 was able to bench press 500, 550, close to 600 pounds. And then even Jim Brown couldn't beat him. Larry Bird, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, all right, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the epitome of alpha male. LeBron doesn't have that type of personality, and it holds him back sometimes, to me. Just certain situations. I was seeing him being matched up with defenders, and I'm thinking, okay, I understand he's not the player he once was, but he's not that far off his prime. Like, why aren't you taking this guy off the dribble? I remember Jordan. I know I always reference Jordan, man, but he's just the standard. Like, everyone wants to compare these guys to Jordan, so I have to keep bringing him up. I remember Jordan when he was 34, 35. Fuck that. Matter of fact, I remember when Jordan was a wizard. All right, he was a wizard, and he lost almost all of his quickness, and he still would try to get to the basket at times. He barely was getting by these guys, but if your jumper's not falling, why fucking keep shit? If you're shooting 25, 26% from three, why the fuck are you settling for three-pointers? I don't understand, some of these guys' shot selection, like J.R. Smith, Shumpert was taking open threes. He was just bricking, okay? He choked, but J.R. Smith was forcing up some stupid-ass shots yesterday, man. Like, the basketball IQ of some of these guys is ridiculous. But going back to LeBron, man, he's a fucking choker, man, okay? He's just a choker. I'm sorry. The guy chokes. He chokes at the foul line, all right, as he did again last night, all right? He choked with layups. I mean, easy layups, too, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just has a tendency to constantly choke in certain situations, man. And I'm not used to seeing that with so-called NBA legends. Sure, everyone has a bad game. Yes. Larry Bird had bad games. Larry Bird had moments where he failed in pressure situations. Magic Johnson had games where he failed in clutch situations. And Michael Jordan. But LeBron constantly fails in these situations. Constantly. And I remember last year in the finals, well, before the finals, they were talking about how LeBron tied Michael Jordan with 3 game-winning shots in playoffs or whatever. But can anybody really remember his? Outside of that Bulls game? Like, are they really memorable like Michael's? I can remember all of Michael's. The 89 shot, Game 5, 89 against Cleveland. the shot. Then he had the shot two. And then he had game one of the 1997 NBA Finals, 31 points against Byron Russell at a game-winning shot at the buzzer. You know, these are defining moments. LeBron lacks a lot of defining playoff moments. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times in certain situations in the finals, even last year when he so-called had a great all-around series, and he did statistically outside of his shooting. You know, he did not shoot very well. And I'm not impressed by volume scores. I've been saying this for years. I don't appreciate volume scores. At least Allen Iverson had the excuse of not having other scorers on his team. He didn't really have a lot of scorers nor shooters. You know what I'm saying? This team had a guy like, what was his name? Slips my mind right now. Not Derek McKee, but Aaron McKee. He had a guy like Aaron McKee shooting threes who was now a knockdown three-point shooter. No, it was Eric Snow. So Iverson kind of had to take the scoring load. Plus, you know, he was only 5'11", probably 160 pounds. And it wouldn't have worked. I know some people say, well, why didn't he, you know, Jerry Stackhouse and Allen Iverson play? You can't have two volume scorers on the same team. Like, that's just not going to work. You know what I'm saying? And Jerry Stackhouse was even worse because Iverson took way more shots than Jerry Stackhouse, and he still managed to shoot almost 2% higher for his career than Jerry Stackhouse. And Jerry Stackhouse was 6'6", 6'7". There's no excuse for you to shoot 8% from the field for your career, and you're athletic 6'7" shooting guard / sometimes swingman. Like, it's ridiculous. But LeBron James is a choker. Okay, I used to really support this guy, but he just pisses me off when I watch him in certain games because I knew he was going to fucking choke. I remember I texted my friends before the game. I said, watch LeBron James chokes like shit in this game. And once again, he did. He's a two-time NBA champion, but he's lucky to be that. He needs to call Ray Allen and thank him every day for that. All right, he really should have only won one fucking championship. He has a losing record in NBA Finals. Yes, he's an all-time great small forward, but because of his personality type, I will always say LeBron James is beneath Larry Bird as far as all-time great small forwards. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes they even want to put him under Julius Erving if you mean ABA and NBA, pro basketball. But I think he's edged out Julius Erving as a player. I mean, I have to be fair. But I still would rather have Larry Bird and probably prime Julius Erving over LeBron James when it came to having a situation where I have to rely on a guy for a shot. I mean, I know many of you might disagree with this, but this is my opinion. What do you guys think, about LeBron? Am I too harsh on him? Is this about right? What do you guys think?